In episode number 210, we cover Batman Day 2016. Every day is Batman Day, but they made it official at the same time every single year, and I attended. More than attended, I worked it. We've got thoughts on that.
We also have a day that I never thought we would see. First news about Harley Quinn's solo film.
IDW and DC have teamed up in the past, but this time they are partnering up for an all-new solo one-shot.
And our comic book highlight this week is going to be The Flash number 6. We've seen amazing things so far. Does this one keep up?
All of this and more on today's show. Hello and welcome to the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, bringing you the reasons we're broke every week, ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
The way the show works is first we cover some news for any new brokettes out there, and then we follow up with a comic book highlight of the week at the end. This week we've actually got an all-news segment that we're going to cover right after the Patreon shoutouts. But first, you were making fun of me singing Purple Lamborghini like 2 episodes ago.
I don't even know what that was.
And you know what it is now.
I do know what it is. I looked it up on the YouTube, and it was just as ridiculous, and I'm still going to make fun of you for singing it.
Purple Lamborghini is the music video to accompany Suicide Squad, and it's the music video that had Jared Leto back on some set for some song, doing Joker things.
Joker things.
He was making funny faces at the camera, yes. He was tapping and making friends with club people, and then everyone else was singing around him. I mean, it was a good time.
No, it was horrible, and I actually think I've seen it before, because it popped up on my Facebook once, and so I saw it, but I didn't click on the sound because you were probably sleeping or something, and I'm like, this is silly. So never actually heard the song, heard it now. They sing about nothing, and there are no purple Lamborghinis in that entire video.
They sing about purple Lamborghinis. They mentioned the Suicide Squad several times. And people are saying Jared Leto was in that music video more than he was in the film himself.
I mean, that's true. The music video is, 4 minutes?
Yep.
And he was in 2 minutes of Suicide Squad, so that's why he signed up. Twice as much airtime.
Why isn't this playing on the radio? Purple Lamborghini.
Because it's a silly song. It's terrible. He just goes, purple Lamborghini, purple Lamborghini, purple Lamborghini. That's all I know.
And it's official. You have to see it. Is that in canon with Suicide Squad? Him getting to Gotham, I guess? I don't know where they're getting. They're on top of a boat. He's hanging out with Skrillex.
That weird-looking guy?
Yeah.
Thought that was just a random thug that was with him. I'm like, he wasn't in the movie. Why is he here now?
Yeah, you asked him, who's that weird motherfucker that they keep showing? I'm like, that's Skrillex. No, the guy with half his head shaved. Yeah, that's Skrillex. You're like, I thought that was the rapper. No.
For those of you hearing those weird noises, that is our dog. She is under the dresser right now.
Doing God knows what.
Doing something. Hey, stopping crime because she's Ace the Bat Hound.
We're starting to see around the stores Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never too early for Halloween. Christmas is another story because they've started that shit now. They haven't even given Halloween a chance or even Thanksgiving. But Halloween, we ended up going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. If you want to tell them what that is and where it is.
Yeah, so Magic Kingdom, Walt Disney World, here in Florida, does a not-so-scary Halloween party. So they decorate the whole park. They got pumpkins everywhere. They got scarecrows. They do special fireworks, special shows. It's a separate hard-ticketed event. So they close down the park at 7 for all the day guests, and then from 7 to midnight, you can only be there if you're there for Mickey's Not So Scary. But then they give out candy, so you go to all your candy stops and, say trick-or-treat. There's realistically probably a third in attendance as you would have on a normal day. So, you just walk on to all the rides, essentially.
For the most part.
For the most part. I mean, more so than you would normally. So we got to ride, for example, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train for the first time. Mm-hmm. We waited, maybe 20 minutes?
Probably 20 minutes.
30 minutes. That's typically a 2-hour wait. I mean, there's your difference there. We walked onto Pirates twice. That's typically at least 30 minutes, maybe closer to 45.
I don't think it's ever too early to get into the Halloween spirit. I dressed up as Bulbasaur.
Yes.
You dressed up as Ash Ketchum. Not Misty dressed as Ash, which would have made sense because you're a redhead already.
Well, yeah, but last time I did that, because I went as Misty Ketchum, nobody got it. They're just like, oh, you're Ash. So I'm just like, okay, fine, I'm Ash.
You had your badges. You've got the actual Ash vest. You have the Ash hat.
Yes.
With that weird A on his.
Yep.
He doesn't wear that anymore.
It's the best hat. He should keep wearing it.
The bigger event that took place everywhere, not just Florida, was Batman Day.
Yes.
This is a yearly event that started with Batman's 75th anniversary, in which DC Comics gave out a reprint of a certain Batman issue. Last year, it was the start of Endgame, so people can get a free copy of Batman Endgame Part 1, and then they can try to catch up with the issues, or in this case, a year later, you can get the trade paperback. And our shop actually still had some copies left over of Endgame, so we gave out the Endgame comic book, as well as this year's Batman Day #1. This was a reprint of Batman from the Rebirth series. It's the one-shot that kind of explains who Batman is, what Gotham and Gotham Girl are about. I think the better series would have been Detective Comics, because that has been a better book overall. But by the time they printed these, they didn't know how people were going to receive either one of those series.
Of course.
It's still Batman #1. It's still a free copy. And it's still comics in the hands of people that maybe don't come into the shop every month, every week, or every day.
So nobody told me about Batman Day. So I just went about my life like a normal day, and then 2 days later I see all these pictures you're posting, and I'm like, well, that was nice to know.
Would you have gone to Batman Day? Weren't you working that day?
Yeah, but I would have like celebrated. I would have gone up to all my employees like, hey, it's Batman Day.
Should be on your phone already.
Batman Day.
You've had 2 years to put this on your phone.
I don't put anything on my phone.
Not even Batman Day.
No.
So it must not be that important.
Listen, I don't check my calendar. People put things on my calendar. I do not. So you put it on my calendar for next year.
It was a fun time. Like I said, there are people that came in that don't normally shop at comic shops too often. They got a free book. They got to see Batman cosplayers. Harley Quinn cosplayer was there.
I would just like everyone to know that I am Harley Quinn cosplaying right now.
Right now with your Harley Quinn pajamas.
My house is chilly, and I have on my very comfortable pajamas.
This Harley Quinn that came into the shop was the classic animated series one, and she even did the voice of, an imitation of Arlene Sorkin as Harley Quinn, which was awesome. She was in character the whole time. Someone asked her out in character. She was like, no. There were some good moments in that day throughout the day. And people were very happy to get the free comic. They were happy to even see all the cosplayers and see all the activity that was happening throughout the shop, which is always awesome. And some people think, hey, it's a free comic book day today. It's like, yeah, it might as well be. I mean, we're giving out a free Batman book. It's even better.
Free, the only comic book that matters day.
I love these events. Batman Day, the Halloween Comic Fest is awesome. And, of course, Free Comic Book Day is great. Anything to get people into comic shops, supporting your local shops is very important.
So speaking of Harley Quinn, as we mentioned in the beginning, we do have news of a day that I personally never in a million dreams, I never dreamed of this.
In a million drears.
In a million years, I never thought this would happen either. And that is a Harley Quinn solo movie.
We had heard rumors that Margot Robbie wanted to be a producer and headline her own Harley Quinn film, but this time it seems like it's official. They have finally struck a deal. She has struck a deal. Her and her agent have struck a deal with Warner Brothers to produce Harley Quinn's very own spin-off movie.
Can I tell you how amazed I am by this woman? Because she is the same age I am, and she has done so much more with her life.
She's probably had more money throughout her life anyway.
I mean, probably that too. But like, I sit here and I'm like, do I want to eat lasagna or more Snickers for dinner? And then she's like out there doing Pilates and becoming my favorite DC character and making millions and...
More importantly, embracing it. Like, I understand that it's making her a shit ton of money on merchandise, I'm sure, on products, on the movies. It's guaranteed work for you. And as an actor, that is huge, because when we were taking film classes, what is it, like less than 5% of actors out there end up actually becoming huge and getting guaranteed work. And even those, sometimes you can ruin your career over a bad tweet. And in this case, she is... superhero movies are the action films of today, and if you can get in on that, then you have it made. You are solid. Mel Gibson was just shitting on superhero movies like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, saying that, yeah, they're crappy action movies, and, I mean, they're just like the action movies that I used to be in, except they're wearing silly spandex and costumes.
Okay, so?
It's just... salty as hell. There's no way he's not salty. They all want to be in these movies.
Of course
Mel
they
Gibson,
do.
there's no way you're telling me that you would not take a role in any of these films as anyone. You would. He was in the fucking Machete movie. He was in that fucking movie.
No
he will
way.
take anything. Like, he was the villain in that. He is super jealous.
So I'm going to go up to Mel Gibson and be like, look, I'm making this superhero movie, and I'm going to put you in the silliest spandex I can find. And your name is just going to be Silly Spandex Man.
Here's the paycheck, you're going to do it. And he would.
And he would.
Needs the money. But back to Margot Robbie. We had talked earlier, probably almost half a year ago, about this rumored movie and how we would include Batgirl and other villains like Poison Ivy and Catwoman. Do we see the Gotham City Sirens in Harley's solo film? Can you do a solo film? If you're not going to include Joker, you have to include Ivy and Catwoman.
That would be so cool. Like, that would be amazing if she did a Gotham City Sirens. And I don't know if she will. I feel like she has some understanding of the character, but an understanding that advanced, I don't know. But for me as a fan, yes, that's a movie I want to see. Let's have them going out on crazy wild adventures and running into Batman. And yeah, you could throw in the Joker in there, and Ivy and Catwoman are all, you don't need him, he's a piece of shit. And we're like, yeah, I don't need him, girl power.
So for the Joker, we know Jared Leto has signed a multi-movie deal. Is Harley Quinn one of them, or are we going to see him appear in the solo Batman film?
I think we're going to see him in the solo Batman film. I think you're going to have to see him in the Harley Quinn movie. Yeah, yes, they could do it without him, but people going to see Harley Quinn, they're going to be there the whole time saying, where's Joker? Do I think he's going to have a predominant role in it? No. I think instead we'll see a Harley Quinn and Joker movie. I could definitely see that happening with how well fans took to that relationship. But for the actual Harley Quinn movie, I would hope that they would focus on Harley Quinn, on her development, on the people around her, like we've seen with Gotham City Sirens, like we saw with the Harley Quinn, solo comic, where, yes, Joker made a highlight because he is a very big part of her life, but not necessarily what her life revolves around.
So far, there's been no projected release date on the film. I would guess at the very earliest 2018, because they haven't even started filming or anything. At the earliest 2018.
It's going to be 19 or 20, I'm sure.
But even with Suicide Squad's huge taking at the box office, people are still not happy. And to some people, it doesn't make sense to spin off one of the most popular characters in Suicide Squad, if not the most popular, to come out of a character that Kelli and I, who are huge Harley Quinn fans, can admit they nailed. She did an awesome job with portraying Harley. But no, not good enough.
Not good enough.
We have this week's very first Nerd Rage Reaction!
Does that clash when you edit that together? Like,
no.
Your actual noises and me going...
They overlap a little bit. You're making the Nerd Rager sound way cooler than they need to.
I know I'm making your power-up sound cooler.
Nerd Rage Reaction is a quote that we find on the internet, usually on a YouTube video or on Facebook under the comments section. We won't tell you who the Nerd Rager is, but we will giggle about it, laugh at it, point at it, and read out the exact quote.
So this Nerd Rager said, she's only the worst version, so of course she's getting her own movie.
Have they not seen Birds of Prey?
Now, I'm just curious. I think that this person has only seen Bruce Timm Harley Quinn.
I think this person is and I don't mind that these fans exist, but one of the fans that saw that the Suicide Squad film was coming out, maybe they're familiar with Harley Quinn from the animated series, like you said, and then when they saw that this film was coming out, they wanted to say, okay, I'll need to buy all the Harley Quinn merchandise and books that I can get now. That way I can seem like the biggest Harley Quinn fan in my circle of friends. Like, oh yeah, I've read that one already. I've read the New 52 book. And I don't mind that people go out and get that, because that's the whole point of this, is to get attached to a character, to get attached to a team, see the movies and want to read more about it. But to use it solely to make yourself appear as some kind of super fan, even I would not say I'm a better fan than the next Harley Quinn fan out there. It's just because you know more about the character does not make you a better fan. I mean, each person's going to enjoy the character in a different way, and you can't really measure that. But in this case, yeah, I think that's what you think, is that they only know the Bruce Timm version, and then they saw the Suicide Squad one, and they said, screw that, I need to see the exact version that I'm familiar with,
right?
And not something different.
And that's what it is. They've only seen the Bruce Timm version, and this is a great version, but it's not as good as the Bruce Timm, right? I mean, we can agree on that.
Yeah.
So if you've only seen those two versions, then yes, technically this is the worst version, but it's still a good version. It's like eating two pieces of pie, and you have one that you like more. Technically, the other one's the worst pie, but you still like it.
I just don't get the second part of it. Of course she's getting her own movie. Where's that coming from? Where's that bit? Again, they need to watch the Birds of Prey show where we had Harley Quinn there.
I think I blocked that from my mind. I don't even remember that.
They need to see Harley Quinn from the Batman show where she's a talk show host for a love show and love connection thing. She's not really a psychiatrist. She uses that in her game show thing, her theme, but it's not like in the animated series. I mean, those two versions are not as good as what we got in the film, so I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe they're not as familiar.
What about the TV show where she's a monkey?
There was a TV show where she's a monkey?
Yeah, you don't remember?
I don't remember a TV show where she's a monkey.
I remember one of the
episode.
Cartoons. Oh, was she only in there for the one episode?
It was like the opening, and they were in a different dimension. You might have even been thinking of Flashpoint.
No, it was the one where Joker has the dreadlocks.
Yeah, the Batman. But she wasn't a monkey there.
Oh. I thought she was a monkey.
She wasn't a monkey. She was it was the classic Jester outfit, and it's got that really stylized form. That show's actually on Netflix now, by the way. But you're probably talking about the Flashpoint comic. It might have been Flashpoint or maybe even Convergence.
I saw it on the TV. Look, Google Harley Quinn monkey. Okay, fine. It's not on Google, but I saw it. No, look, right here. Crisis on 2 Earth.
So it's from the direct-to-video film in which you had the Earth 2 villains. They were villains in that end. Go into the regular DC universe and try to take out the Justice League so that... it's not Night Owl, because that's from Watchmen.
Owlman.
Owlman is trying to destroy existence, essentially, and so he's taking out all the different universes and existences, the different Earths. Okay. That's what you're talking about.
Well, moral of the story is apparently Monkey Harley is better than TV Harley.
Or movie Harley.
Yes, because this is the worst Harley. Monkey Harley. He would have rather seen Crisis on 2 Earths, Monkey Harley, where she's not even wearing red and black. It was purple. I just looked at the picture. There's purple and green. In
spite of what Nerd Ragers may say, things are going well for Warner Brothers. I mean, you look at that intake from Suicide Squad, and now we have some quotes here from the CEO, who is Jeff Box, and what he had to say about the future of the DC Cinematic Universe.
So he told Variety, quote, "The strategy worked. The execution did deliver what we wanted to do. We can do a little better on the creative. We're right on course or better. The DC Comics character have a little more lightness in them than maybe what you saw in those movies. So we're thinking about that." End quote.
People trying to shit on what they've done so far with Batman v Superman or Suicide Squad and saying that this is not universe building, they have not they've forgotten what Green Lantern did. Like, this is not Green Lantern bad. These movies have made a lot of money. It's gotten people talking. It's gotten people excited. Some people love Batman v Superman. Some people don't like it. Same thing with Suicide Squad, although Suicide Squad was better received than Batman v Superman. So this is not better wipe it and restart in 5 years. They're fine. They're making money. Yeah. They're making money off of marketing, off of merchandise. And with Jeff Johns now on board, now the comic readers are like, well, okay, it might be better. Things are going to get... Now it's going to be good. Like, they have their excuse to say that they like these films when Wonder Woman comes out or when Justice League comes out. Like, whoa, now that Jeff Johns is behind it, now I can like it. That's what's going to happen. And it's like, whatever it takes, dude.
You're silly.
Whatever it takes.
Silly. I'm going to start doing that for things now. Like, well, because of this. No, Kelly, you liked that like 5 years ago.
I'm not going to shy away from it. I like Batman v Superman. Mm-hmm. We liked Batman v Superman. We liked Suicide Squad. And we're looking forward to Wonder Woman, Justice League, and the rest of those movies.
Oh, yeah. And Aquaman. Is there a solo Aquaman movie?
It's coming. It's not going to be anytime soon, but it's definitely in the works. Black Manta, remember we were talking about. Is it going to have...
Oh, so I was talking to some of my coworkers about the Aquaman movie. And they were talking about, all the different villains and Black Manta. And then one of my coworkers goes, they should get Ocean Master in there. And do you know how hard I had to bite my tongue? Because all I could think of was this man lying in the sand, jumping up and going, and coming on people. That's the only thing I could think about. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, do you know who Ocean Master is? I'm like, Yep.
Yes, he comes on people.
Yeah, I can't do that. I would get fired.
That is Ocean Master in our minds.
That's all he is. And they're like, no, but Black Manta and Ocean Master. And I'm like, yeah, just keep talking about him. That's fine.
I agree, Ocean Master. They should definitely use Ocean Master.
But my Ocean Master.
And even this, what do you think about the tone, about them talking about how the DC characters are a little bit lighter, and how they do want to lighten them up compared to what we've seen already in Batman v Superman?
I think that they're only saying that because people said the movie was too dark.
You think that was the main issue? Was that the movie was too dark for a lot of people?
I think it was. For example, my mom doesn't like her movies very dark. She didn't like Man of Steel because she thought it was too dark. So you lose a lot of people like that. Because I think it's much harder for people who don't like darker movies to watch darker movies than people who are fine with darker movies to watch lighter movies. I mean, obviously. That just makes sense. So I think because they had a lot of complaints about that. And I mean, on the flip side, too, the characters that they're making movies for are lighter characters to begin with. Going forward. Wonder Woman isn't as dark as Batman.
Justice League overall aren't a dark team.
Right, exactly. You have Batman who brings, who levels them out, who brings that darkness. But you have Flash, who's very lighthearted. You're going to have Wonder Woman in there. You're going to have
Superman.
Green Lantern, maybe. One. Superman, possibly Shazam, who is, again, a very light character. It's a little kid trapped in a human, like an adult body. It's, like, badass.
They need to ramp his shit up and use him ASAP.
Yeah.
Because I want to see Shazam. I know they want to do him right. I get that.
But if they made him like that comic we read, remember the back of...
The New 52?
Yeah, where he discovers he has this man's body and he's going around trying to buy beer. And I'm like, who wouldn't do that? Like, what kid would not do that?
It's too dark. It's trying to have kids drink. No, too dark.
It's hilarious. It's exactly what a kid would do. And I'm just like, give him that beer.
Because of this news, because of them acknowledging in a lot of people's minds that maybe they went a little too dark with these, again, we are fine with it. We're fine with the direction. We have the next Nerd Rage reaction.
They just don't get it. The tone has to fit the character and context of the story, and making something lighter isn't the answer. Having interesting and well-written stories and characters and a cohesive structure also counts. Oh, so like Batman v Superman?
Or like Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that they know. I don't even think they're raging. I just think, no, because they said they don't get it. I don't know. I don't think they get it.
Maybe it's referring to other nerd ragers. Like, they just don't get it.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect. That's exactly what's happening. So this actually isn't a nerd rage. This is just...
They're on our side.
A nerd rants. Or a nerd reacts.
Nerd reacts versus nerd rager.
Yes.
That'd be a headline on Newsarama. If you ran a website with headlines, that would be it.
Yeah.
Just highlighting that nerd rage. I think they got the stories nailed, and now they just got to work on the tone to appeal to the masses.
I really don't understand nerd ragers. I just don't.
Continuing forward onto the comic book side, we've got some changes on IDW's publishing and partnerships.
So in a partnership with Penguin Random House Publisher Services, that's the craziest name I've ever heard, IDW Publishing will no longer have their trade paperbacks available through Diamond Comics distributors.
So to anyone not familiar with what Diamond is, that is the massive distributor that brings all the books that all these comic shops order from. So whenever you hear any comic shop maybe complain about Diamond, that is the distributor. If they ever say the comic came in damaged, it's because of the distributor, which is Diamond. And that's where all the shops... It is a monopoly. Let's be fair. It is definitely a monopoly as far as distributing goes. And it's not a terrible service either, because every comic shop's been using it for years. But the fact that IDW is moving away from Diamond and going into Penguin Publishing, the Random House Publishing Company, that means that all the comic shops, if they want to get trades from IDW, are going to have to open a separate account through this new publishing company. Now, the problem with that is a lot of comic shops already have deals in place with Diamond to get lower prices on some trade paperbacks, on some comics, depending on the size of their account, how much they order every month or every week, and what the solicits are, depending on if they want to bring a deal to the comic shops. So if they have to open a whole different account just for IDW trades, that's immediately not going to translate to a better deal for the comic shops out there.
It would be interesting for me to hear the financial reason behind it for why IDW is going this way, because exactly like you said, if it's going to be harder for comic shops to get in, they're not going to order as much. So IDW isn't going to sell as much. I'm sure there is something far above my head out there that we don't know about, but it's very interesting that they're moving this way.
It's most likely a temporary partnership, and they'll probably go right back to Diamond after their 2 or 3 years are up. But it's just a really bizarre move on IDW's side. Now, the regular comics, like the single issues and original graphic novels, are still going to be available through Diamond. It's just a trade paperback compilation. So let's say you get Transformers ongoing. Well, they always put like 1 through 6 in one trade paperback format, and that's the one that you're going to have to, comic shops are going to have to get through a different distributor.
So some things that IDW publishes, we have My Little Pony, Transformers, TMNT, Ghostbusters, and more. Some
pretty decent properties. I mean, this is not small time. And it's with the Batman TMNT book that's coming out. I believe that's through IDW.
Well, shit.
That's going to be another one that if comic shops want it, they're going to have to open up a new account. And that does suck. Now, some of the comic shops out there, not the one I work at, but I'm guaranteeing that there's going to be shops out there that maybe aren't doing too well that are going to say, well, fuck that. We're not going to carry any more IDW books then. If they're not going to go through Diamond and we're not going to get as good of a pricing, then screw them. We don't have to support their books. I think it hurts IDW more than it actually helps them. Unless they're getting some massive deal through this distributor. I don't know, but
I feel like they would have to be, or the distributor has a loved one held hostage. Like, you're going to go through our distributor. This person's going to die.
We don't know the backgrounds to it. Maybe that's it.
That's not it.
The only thing that I can think of is that the new distributor, Penguin Random House Publisher, has a deal with Walmart or Barnes Noble or someone massive.
Nobody, like Amazon maybe.
Maybe Amazon. Someone huge that they're like, we have the direct connections to Walmart. We can get your TMNT trades directly into the thousands of Walmarts out there, to the billions of customers. Give that a shot for 3 years and let's see how it does. That's the only thing I can think of, and that's something that I don't even know if it even exists.
Right. No, I could definitely see that. I mean, that was another one of my thoughts. Even if they open it up so that you can buy the trade directly from the website, and it's the same price, maybe cheaper than you could get it in the comic shop, yeah, I could definitely see that too. Because if you want it badly enough, how many people really walk in and, I don't know, I may be completely off on this, but just walk in and see a trade on the shelf like Transformers and say, oh, let me just pick this up. Like, does it happen all the time?
It happens if they know they're going to get it. IDW books are not the kind that people say, oh, there's a Ghostbusters comic, let me get that. Not as often as, say, Marvel or DC Comics, where they said, I just saw that new Suicide Squad movie. I want to pick up something with Harley. That happens way more often, but not so much on the IDW side.
So if you're picking up IDW, you pretty much know that you're going in for that book.
Yes.
So they could probably make just as much money selling it direct to consumers.
Possibly. It's comic shop customers are a little bit different because they are willing to go into their local comic shop and just pick up the book from the shop themselves so that they can get it day one and flip through it themselves and go through and see if the art looks good, see if the story looks good. Sure, there are preview pages on the website where you can go through and check it out, but it's simply not the same as holding the physical book and flipping through it yourself. So again, I do think it is maybe a behind-the-scenes partnership with their own accounts that they're trying to get IDW in on this.
Well, we'll see. Of course, guys, if we get any more information, we'll definitely share that with you, but we'll see how long this lasts and how it does for IDW. But another great partnership with IDW that I am fully supportive of is with DC. They are teaming up to publish a one-shot anthology titled Love is Love, with proceeds going to the Orlando victims and family members from, of course, the Pulse attack.
So this project was put together by writer Mark Andreyko and features Batwoman on the cover holding the LGBTQ flag.
Of course. Who else would you put on the cover?
I know there's a variant which has like Wonder Woman and a bunch of other heroes in the back. But yeah, Batwoman is probably aside from Superman, probably the biggest LGBT character. Although I don't know if Superman counts because he only loves Batman. It's not that he's into guys completely. He's just into Batman, which everyone is.
He's just a Batman sexual. So, I mean, you could do LGBTB.
Then it would count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you could have Superman.
That's not what this is, though.
No.
So, yeah, Batwoman would make sense.
Batwoman's perfect. So, Andreyko recruited writers and artists from both the comic book industry and broader entertainment businesses, including Phil Jimenez, Oliver Copiel, Damon Lind... I know none of these names.
Damon Lindelof?
I don't know him.
Patton Oswalt?
Nope.
Oh, I don't know then.
Who are they? Why don't I know them? I know Phil Jimenez.
Few of many names of artists and writers that are going to be included in this anthology. 144 pages for $10.
Worth it.
That's fucking awesome.
Pick it up.
For a good cause. $10. Ask your local comic book shop. They can get it as well. Or you can get it straight from IDW's site. We know it is coming out December 2016. So it will be in the next previews catalog.
So again, guys, this is called Love is Love.
It is a one-shot from IDW and DC Comics.
All this news just ties in perfectly together. Right now, I have no idea why IDW is leaving Diamond after this news. So for the first time in nearly 20 years, Diamond shipped over 10 million non-promotional comic books in the month of August.
Non-promotional being books like the Comic Shop Muses, the Ashcan Young Animals that we recently had. So they're not counting any of those. They're talking about Batman number 6, Batman number 4, Harley Quinn, Civil War number 4. All of those is what they're referring to. And for the first time in 20 years, that is massive.
That's
That
amazing.
is huge for comic shops out there. This is all topped by Harley Quinn number 1 and DC Comics' 9 out of 10 titles in that top 10 that retailers purchased. That equals 10.26 million units.
That is phenomenal. So out of the top 10 books, only one of them was not DC.
Right. That is massive. That is, of course, due to DC Rebirth, which has been a huge success for DC Comics. It's brought back a bunch of readers. It's brought in a bunch of new readers. And from there, they all expand. To any fanboys out there that are like, well, fuck DC, I'm a Marvel reader. Relax. These readers will expand to other books from DC Comics. So this really helps out everyone.
I think we can also give some credit to Suicide Squad, too, and Margot Robbie's amazing performance, because that got people in for Harley Quinn. And, of course, as we know, Amanda and Jimmy have been killing it on Harley Quinn. Mm-hmm. So then it's a great book. So then they're telling everybody that it's great, and it just, snowballs from there.
Plus, comic shops ordering Harley Quinn number 1, they're never going to be just forever sitting on Harley Quinn number 1. Harley Quinn number 1, Deadpool number 1. You give me 1 million of those, I will eventually sell every single fucking copy.
So all this fantastic news does mean for the second month in a row, DC has topped in dollar and market share. About fucking time.
This marks DC Rebirth as a larger success than the New 52 from 2011, which was also massive.
Mm-hmm. But like you said, you've heard so far fewer complaints about Rebirth than we ever did about New 52.
Right.
They lost a lot of people with New 52. I think they pulled a lot of people on board. And going back to their roots, going back with what they're doing with Rebirth, you're pulling back all those old readers and you're keeping all the new ones you got. So it was a long, rocky road, but I think it all worked out really well in the end. And of course, the numbers show that.
And to all the naysayers that were like, great, another reboot, it fucking works. And it wasn't a reboot, it was just a relaunch. But anytime you have a large range of new number 1s, as long as you don't do them too often, and we talked about that 4 months ago, where you can only do it so often before readers start seeing through it. If you do it every year, that's not going to work. You do it every 5 years just to flush out all the old comics and get everyone back and fresh. Clearly, it does work. Mm-hmm. They've already done it twice in the last 10 years, and this time it's been even bigger.
Hopefully, we will just continue to see them grow over the years, not just because we're DC fanboys, but because they're great books, guys.
They are great books, and DC has now released also December's solicitations, new titles, pretty big news as they end off 2016.
So the first one we're going to talk about, and I think this is a great idea, it's called Direct Currents Number 1. The solicitation reads, quote, "The new free quarterly magazine that brings you into the world of DC with exclusive sneak peeks of every title, starting with the top secret Justice League / Suicide Squad crossover event coming in December. Plus, get a first look at the all-new Super Sons series starring the offspring of Superman and Batman, and new info on the second wave of Rebirth titles," end quote.
When I went to that DC summit, one of the things that their marketing person said was that they were going to do more giveaways and more promotional items for consumers and for comic book shops. And this shows that they are delivering on that promise. I think the quarterly magazine, which says, hey, this is what you can look forward to. It's completely free. It's almost like an extra previews catalog, except you get exclusive pages in it. That's a good idea. It's an awesome giveaway.
A great idea
for readers out there, for your customer base. Anytime that the publishers kind of help you out with that, it's always good news. And I do think that a lot of readers will take that into account. They did it with the DC Rebirth right before they relaunched it. There was that massive Wizard World style, Wizard Magazine style, with all of the different solicitations, the different teams. And I remember a lot of customers flipping through it and saying, okay, put me down for Detective Comics, put me down for Blue Beetle. And it worked. And if they can continue doing something similar to that on a quarterly basis, always a good idea. I think it's going to be big, and it's going to be a huge help to the readers and the consumers, as well as the shops out there.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest markets it's going to hit is people who aren't currently picking up their books. Because if you can say, here, this is free, it's going to highlight 6 issues that are coming out, just flip through it, see if anything looks interesting. If you're telling me that I can research this stuff for free, maybe give a few sample pages of what you're going to find in the book in there. Yeah, why not? That's perfect. And then, of course, something's going to catch their eye. It's Batman. Why wouldn't it? Especially with all the DC movies coming out, all the hype that's going to get. I think it's going to cost them money, but it's going to earn them so much more.
And remember, these are just the highlights of the December 2016 solicitations. If you want to see the full run of these, don't forget to buy the previews magazine as they come out every month. You can ask your comic shop if you have a subscription, hey, can you add previews to my subscription? It's a $4 thick, think of a Christmas catalog every single month. It's going to have all of the titles for DC Comics, Marvel, IDW, Boom Publishing, fucking Grim Fairy Tales. Every single thing out there, Zenoscope, is going to be there. Any publisher you can think of, Blue Juice Comics, our friends over there, they have their solicitations in that catalog. That'll give you a good idea on what you can order, what you can put yourself down for. Comic shops may not order some of the smaller titles that don't sell, but the way to guarantee yourself a copy of those is to get that previews catalog, get your orders in every single month, even if it's, just the Direct Currents #1. I want that every single quarter. Or, as we said earlier, the crossover Love is Love #1. All of that is going to be in there, and you're going to see preview pages as well and previews. And these solicitations, they release usually a week or two before the previous catalog comes out. So moving along here, Nightwing #10 I wanted to highlight because of the solicitation that reads, following Night of the Monster Men and his battle with Raptor. By the way, Raptor is his man crush.
What?
I don't know if I'll tell you about that
Who is
right
this?
after.
Can I Google him too?
Yeah, Google Raptor DC Comics Rebirth and see what pops up.
Okay.
But Nightwing is heading to Bloodhaven for a fresh start. So any Nightwing fans out there that love the character, they know Bloodhaven all too well. That's the city that he moved onto after he said, Batman, you're too harsh for me. I'm going to go and be my own man.
There they are being boyfriends.
You found it?
Look, they're just going on a little run together.
There he is. That's him. That's Raptor.
Oh.
Like I was, one of my coworkers, Sam, and that's your shout out, Sam. She wanted a shout out.
Hi, Sam. Here's your shout out.
She said that Raptor and Nightwing, no, they're not boyfriends. But I was flipping through it. I'm like, no, I think they're boyfriends. And then I showed it to my coworker Alex, and he's like, oh yeah, they're pretty much flirting with one another in that book. I'm like, oh shit, I knew it. And I showed Sam later. I'm like, look, Raptor is like getting in the way of getting hurt. Like he's taking a shot for Nightwing. Like, Nightwing, watch out.
Look, here he's kicking him into something. He's saying, is that why you're so distracted? Because you're in love with me? Oh wait, no. Because you've got it all figured out.
The whole time he's making fun of him for Batman didn't train you well
What's
enough.
going on in that picture?
He's holding him down against that brick wall.
I mean, he looks like he's about to make out with him. I'm just saying. It was on the cover of it.
Yeah, that was the cover to Nightwing.
But they're just about to make out. That's clearly what's happening right there.
That is what is happening, though. Raptor's just trying to get him to forget about Batman, and, just you and I will work together, and we'll just do things, and we'll work against the Court of Owls if you really want to.
If you want.
And let's just get out of here and go to Bloodhaven. You and I will go to Bloodhaven, and I'm supporting of it. Like, I'm not even reading Nightwing, but I'm like, yeah, fine.
So, did he run away? It says his recent battle with Raptor. Is that like, they got in like a lover's quarrel, and he's just like, I have to go. I have to find myself.
Things can't go well all the time, Kelly.
I mean, I guess not, but they're so cute together. Why would they not? Why aren't they not just in love?
Raptor is orange. Nightwing is blue.
Yeah?
What are those?
Colors.
They're complementary colors.
Oh. I don't know. Okay, I'm not an artsy person. I can look at things and say, hey, that looks cool.
They're complementary colors.
Okay.
They look well together.
Okay, they look great together. I mean, this raptor guy's like a little brown, but it's okay.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing against that. Man, here's some more like words from them. Can this be a new segment? Just like Raptor and Nightwing? Out on the precipice, about to leap, knowing someone would catch you. Not your mother, not your father. Someone with a foot in the dark, just like me. Someone who used fear as a weapon. Oh, Batman. Never mind. He's in love with Batman too. Well, shit. Sorry, Nightwing. I tried.
Well, everyone's in love with Batman.
Well, yeah. Okay. So he can be in love with Nightwing too.
So what are those fanfics called? Is it Night Raptor? Or is it Raptor Wing?
It would be Night Raptor, because that's like kind of a badass name too. But what's Raptor's real name?
I don't know his real name. I haven't been reading that series.
No, we got to find out his real name. Because, I mean, that's what's gonna, like, decide their true name.
Well, while you look that up, I'm going to move on to the biggest solicitation, which I left the best for last. And this is DC Rebirth Holiday Special #1. It's been a few years since we've gotten a holiday special. And this has a cover by Dustin Nguyen.
Dustin Nguyen!
Who we adore. And this solicitation reads, don't miss a Hanukkah crisis for Batwoman, a Flash family Christmas, Wonder Woman interrupting John Constantine's hell-blazing pagan party, and more. Writer Paul Dini crafts a Harley Quinn holiday tale featuring the DCU guests that bridges all the stories in the weirdest, wildest way.
Do you know who's going to end up in that?
Ivy, Harley Quinn, maybe Roxy Rocket.
Really? You think that's all that's going to end up in there?
Batman.
Jingle Bell is going to be in the background somewhere, please.
If they put Jingle Bell in this, I will love it. I love Jingle Bell. If anyone doesn't know who that is.
Okay, it is a Harley holiday written by Paul Dini. You don't think he's going to sneak Jingle Bell in there somewhere?
Better sneak in Jingle Bell. I don't know if he can, because it doesn't belong to DC. It's his own thing.
Do you know how many times he and Bruce Timm slipped himself into...
But they're not characters.
Okay, I mean, I get that.
They're not creations.
They made it... Have you seen somebody put up the GIF where... remember when Joker in season 4 tries to find a new Harley?
Yeah.
And he's walking down the line and there's all the different people in the Harley costumes? So they have that GIF and it's Halloween 2016.
Oh.
It's just all the different Harleys.
It makes sense.
It's true. It made me laugh. And then the last one's like Paul Dini dressed as Harley and I was like, ah.
That's how good a time it is. Harley Quinn everywhere. That's awesome for me as a fan.
Yeah. When we were at Mickey's Not So Scary, we saw like 3 Harleys. And that's
great.
And then I stopped looking for Harleys, and I was just like, look, fireworks, pumpkins, candy. I wish we had met Jack and Sally next year. So this holiday special will be 96 pages for only $9.99. That is a Christmas present in and of itself.
I mean, we talk about Rebirth. That's as Rebirth as it gets. That's some shit before the New 52. Sure, we had Harley's holiday special, but this is a full DC Universe special for the holidays. Just like the ones that they did. Dustin Nguyen's actually done covers for the older ones as well. Or at least for one of them. I remember flipping through the one-shots and I see a holiday thing. I'm like, oh shit, Dustin Nguyen right here. I think I even ended up buying it because of that. But in this case, the fact that he's doing another cover and you have Paul Dini on board, the only thing that would make that better is if Dustin Nguyen was also illustrating Paul Dini's portion of it.
You stop with your perfect dreams.
They need to team up again. They need to.
Are they holding hands? I'm sorry, I'm still looking up Nightwing and Raptor. I mean, he's reaching for him. They're not reaching for Batgirl.
Yeah, that's true. It's your new obsession.
Yeah, it is. Like, I literally typed in, like, Nightwing Raptor, and there's just none of them falling in love.
I think I'm going to have to get you that first Nightwing trade.
Yeah, I mean,
so
you're going to have
to.
I need to read it. But they haven't revealed Raptor's name. He's just Secret Man. Here they're going for a swim together. They exercise together. Does he know how he likes his eggs? Like, I'm very confused.
He does now. At this point, they're up to, like, issue 4 or 5.
Okay, yeah, they're definitely in love. Are they going to be in Love is Love? Please.
They better be.
It'd be perfect.
Is Superman going to be in Love is Love?
Yeah. Because Batman Love is Love, too.
So that wraps up our DC solicitations for December. Again, you can see the full list for the latest Previews magazine that should be coming out in a week or two. We do have the Batman Choose Your Own Adventure segment.
Yes!
This is going to be a weekly segment. We're going to get to that, and we're going to explain it after our weekly Patreon shout-out.
So this week's shout-out goes to John, who you can find on Twitter at John72Tex. We also have Eric, again on Twitter at EAntonOfficial. And finally, Brian, who is at BrianShope1.
Huge thanks to all of you, John, Eric, and Brian, for the Patreon support. It really helps us out a lot, and we hope you're enjoying the show, helping out the podcast, the shout-outs, and for some of you, the decals that we send out every 3 months. So again, do follow them on Twitter because they are helping out the podcast. That's at John72Tex, at EAntonOfficial, and at BrianShope1.
If you guys are listening and you say, I'd like to support too, it can be as little as 25 cents an episode, $1 a month. It really helps out the show. If you go back and listen to the older ones, I don't necessarily recommend it, but
it's going to be old news.
It's old news. You can see that our sound and quality has improved. We've been able to have guest stars. We had Mr. Riggs not too long ago. We've also had Tim Yates on the show, and hopefully to have more in the future. And your donations help support all of that.
If you do want to back us, that's over at patreon.com/thereasonsimbroke. We also want to thank decalavenue.com for helping us out with the decals at the $5 tier.
And of course, our podcast will always be free, guys. The best thing you can do is let other people know about us, interact with us on Twitter, on Facebook, at Reasons I'm Broke, at Kelli. Let us know what makes you broke. You guys are the reason that we do this show.
So here's this all-new segment for Brokeheads out there. I'm really excited for this. This is a You Choose Batman. The title of this is Batman the Lazarus Pit. So I saw this at my local comic shop, and on it I saw that Batman and Robin, some of you call him Nightwing, it's Robin. Batman and Robin are over the Lazarus Pit as Ra's al Ghul is rising from it, crazy as hell, ready to try to make Batman fall in love with him too. And I'm like, I really want this. I'm a huge Ra's al Ghul fan. It's my favorite Batman villain. So I'm seeing this, and I'm like, this is a choose-your-own-adventure, and it looks great. And I was telling my coworker Alex about it. I'm like, I have to get this. I'm going to read it on the podcast. And he came up with a brilliant idea, and he said, wait, this is a choose-your-own-adventure. And I said, yeah. And he said, why don't you have your listeners choose what they think you should do, and then next week you read off and continue what is happening. I'm like, that is fucking amazing, Alex. That is a great idea. That's what we're going to be doing. So we hope you enjoy this as much as we're going to. I'm going to have a lot of fun doing a lot of work too, finding all these sound effects. And so anytime all the listeners are going to hear it, that's going to be a lot of post-production work on my end. But I'm going to try my best to get you some real sound effects as we continue. And what Kelli and I are going to do is we're going to read page by page and kind of switch off. And then we're going to stop at our first decision. And we'll let Brokeheads choose. And they will have to get on us on Twitter or on Facebook and let us know, hey, I think option A or option B. We'll explain that more as we get to the end. And we're going to take turns reading each page. And we're going to voice the different characters. I think we'll decide on who voices who as we come across the characters. I'm going to be Batman. I'm going to tell you. I think you should be Robin. You do a pretty good Robin. So, do you want to read the first section, the first
sure,
page? Okay,
absolutely.
There you go.
A sleek black vehicle zooms through the dark city streets. It's the Batmobile, and the driver is none other than Batman, the mysterious guardian of Gotham City. We all know I have trouble reading things, okay? The car's bright headlights cut through the darkness like twin blades. Batman is investigating a recent blackout, and all clues lead to suspicious activity at the Gotham City power plant. When he arrives, the Dark Knight exits the Batmobile and searches for the culprit. Suddenly, a brilliant flash lights up the night sky. Bolts of lightning shoot into the air from the roof. That's a shocking development, Batman thinks to himself. Ha ha, Batman.
He pulls the grapnel gun from his utility belt and aims it high. The cable lifts Batman to the roof. His black cape billows behind him like the wings of a bat. The Dark Knight, that's all in caps, of course, the Dark Knight, lands silently on the roof. He comes face to face with the bandit behind the blackout. I had a hunch you'd be behind this, Maxi Zeus, Batman says. Maxi Zeus is a tall, bearded, and muscular man.
Ooh.
The writer needed to tell us this.
Yes.
He wears a toga and holds a metal rod shaped like a lightning bolt, not a penis, a lightning bolt.
Okay.
Maxie is a power-hungry madman who believes he's the real Zeus, king of the Greek gods.
Only gods may dwell upon Olympus.
He bellows.
Are you a god?
I'm Batman, replies the Caped Crusader.
So gloomy and dark.
Is he a nerd rager?
Yes, clearly.
Says Maxie with a yawn.
You remind me of my brother Hades, ruler of the underworld.
Why have you shut down the city's power? Asks Batman.
To harness it, of course, the madman answers. Only I shall provide the people of Gotham with electricity, and for a very high price.
Your kiss. See, everyone's in love with Batman. This is how it works, bro.
Yeah.
I'm shutting you down,
Batman says. He reaches into his utility belt and pulls out the bat cuffs. Zeus cackles at the sight of them. Ha ha ha! Do you think your flimsy shackles can contain my power? The villain aims a lightning rod as it crackles with energy. It's time you saw the light, Batman, he yells. Pulsing blasts of electricity shoot out at the hero. Batman backflips out of the way as the lightning bolts hit the fire escape ladder. Well done. I'm just getting warmed up, laughs Zeus.
Zeus fires another bolt at Batman. It blasts the ground at Batman's feet, exploding the concrete around him. The Dark Knight is thrown off balance and lands on his back. Maxie Zeus aims his weapon directly at Batman.
It's time to submit to your new king,
Zeus says. Submit to me. That's so... Batman doesn't take this, though. He says, no, it's time to fight fire with fire. He grabs a handheld stun gun from his utility belt. Batman activates the weapon and jams it against Zeus's ribs. A powerful surge of energy sends Maxie sprawling across the roof. The maniacal madman doubles over in a smoldering heap. Batman scans the area for the lightning rod, but it's nowhere to be found. He looks over the side of the building and peers into the darkness. Batman thinks, it couldn't just disappear. Perhaps it fell.
Soon, swirling red and blue lights and wailing sirens fill the air. Several police cruisers screech to a halt near the power plant. Batman carries Zeus down to the waiting squad car of Detective Harvey Bullock. Do I get to be Bullock too?
You can try. I can't do a Bullock accent. This is a tough one. I'm imagining Zeus is being carried princess. Is he really knocked out? Is Zeus? Is he like Superman? He's pretending?
I'm knocked out.
You got me.
Got your new king. I mean, I can't do a Bullock accent either, but I'll try. You're under arrest, your lordship. That's what Bullock sounds like now. Bullock barks at the villain. Zeus is slightly conscious. See, I told you. And mumbles,
That's true.
I committed my crimes at the behest of Kronos.
Sounds like something more sinister is at play,
Batman says. Nah, this Greek freak is just spouting gibberish, Bullock replies. He escorts Maxie Zeus to his waiting squad car. As the cruiser drives away, Batman gets into the Batmobile and disappears into the night. Moments later, Batman pulls into a dark alley. He changes out of his Batsuit and into an expensive tuxedo.
I'm sure Maxie Zeus was watching. Well, is he still there? Like,
Is Bullock watching then too? Because he's in the back of the squad car.
Time to play the part of my alter ego, Batman says to himself. Billionaire businessman, Bruce Wayne. His voice has to change.
It does, of course.
Bruce sets the Batmobile's autopilot to return to the Batcave. Then he straightens his tie and walks toward the Gotham City Museum of Art. The Egyptian exhibit is hosting a private party for the unveiling of a rare new artifact. A red carpet lines the front entrance. People are crammed on either side to see the glittering and glamorous Gotham City elite. As Bruce reaches the red carpet, a black town car drives up to the curb. Perfect timing, Alfred, as usual. Batman, or rather Bruce, says to the driver. A proper, not one of those scruffy Englishmen, a proper English gentleman. Alfred Pennyworth is Bruce's loyal butler and closest friend.
I strive to impress you with my promptness, sir.
Alfred replies dryly. The butler opens the passenger door of the car, and a strapping young man exits.
Ooh.
Dick Grayson. What a pleasant surprise.
Bruce exclaims.
What brings you to Gotham City?
Alfred. Dick answers with a wink.
Everyone's a comedian.
Bruce replies. Once an orphaned acrobat, Dick Grayson was adopted by Bruce Wayne as his youthful ward. Bruce trained the boy to become Batman's junior partner, Robin, the boy wonder. After Dick graduated from college, he retired his cape and became an older Robin. Nightwing, but still Robin.
Should we still call him Robin in this? Or are we going to say Nightwing?
I don't know.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay. He now works to protect the nearby city of Bloodhaven because he couldn't put up with Bruce being a jerk any longer.
Not Bloodhaven, Bloodhaven.
It's Bloodhaven.
They say Bloodhaven in the cartoons.
But it's Blood.
I think you're right. It might be Blood.
There's the 2 dots over the U. It's
okay.
Blood.
Forever Blood.
Hashtag Forever Blood.
Bloodhaven. That's what we're going to say now.
Actually, sir, I took the liberty of contacting Master Grayson about the gala. Alfred explains. A simple precaution in case your work kept you from attending.
Prompt and prudent,
remarks Bruce.
You deserve a raise.
Now you're the comedian, Alfred retorts. The butler tips his hat and drives off in the car.
Bruce and Dick enter the museum amidst a flurry of camera flashes. They cross the grand foyer into the gallery of Greek statues. Standing there is a beautiful young redhead in a shimmering blue gown.
What am I doing in this story?
So you gotta voice her then.
You're fashionably late,
she says.
I gotta do all the voices. You know that's how I roll, Barbara.
Dick says with a smirk. Hello, Miss Gordon, Bruce says. You look radiant as usual. Because again, for Killing Joke people that didn't like it, there is a relationship between Bruce and Barbara.
Yep. And Barbara and Dick Grayson, so this story just got weird.
No, it got more interesting.
Oh, okay.
Not weird. Never weird. Batman the Animated Series, nothing weird about it. Barbara Gordon is the daughter of Police Commissioner James Gordon. She is also secretly Batgirl, another crime fighter in Gotham City.
Thanks, Bruce.
Barbara replies.
I was just brushing up on my Greek mythology. It says here that Zeus has a very electric personality.
She looks at Bruce with a twinkle in her eye. We're coming up on the decision here, Brokettes. 2 more pages. That he does.
The billionaire says grimly.
And dangerous, too. Alright, I'll try my sexy woman voice for this. It's not going to be good.
If you can't do it, I'll take over.
Speaking of Greek gods.
She's almost dying. I'm very confused.
They're going to say she sounds like she's coming.
Well, I mean that too. Purrs a woman's voice behind Bruce.
What's it take for a statue like you to crack a smile?
Bruce turns to see Selina Kyle, the former socialite and famed cat burglar, is decked out in a black dress and white diamonds.
It's no laughing matter whenever you enter a museum, Miss Kyle.
Bruce states.
Relax, darling.
Selina purrs again.
I gave Catwoman the night off.
She takes Bruce by the arm.
Why don't we find out what all the fuss is about?
And then the 2 go off and live happily ever after.
No! The only thing missing was, and then they kill Talia and every other woman that's ever been in Batman's life.
And live happily ever after. I see that right here. Where was the decision?
No, it's not you. You chose the adventure.
I did.
You gotta let the Brokettes choose
I did.
the adventure.
No, I just chose the adventure. Okay, fine. The foursome walk into the Egyptian wing. Around them, the other guests excitedly discuss the unveiling of the museum's newest edition. The group soon stands before the Temple of Isis. Really? Why did they put Isis in this book?
Because of Ra's al Ghul and
I guess.
Catwoman.
Okay. This stone structure is the largest and most popular destination of the entire museum, Barbara says. Way to show your nerd, Barbara. Catwoman's definitely ahead now. You sound like you work here, Dick teases.
In the center of the temple stands a display case with a drape over it. Next to it, a smartly dressed curator quiets the guests.
Can I just throw back that they just wrote Dick teases on this page?
That's true. It's supposed to be a kid's book.
They're slipping a lot. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
She announces.
You're about to witness history in the making. The oldest surviving document of ancient Egyptian history has just been discovered.
The crowd inches closer, buzzing with curiosity. Out of the corner of his eye, Bruce notices a woman walking in the opposite direction of the crowd. Her long, beautiful brown hair hides half her face, but she looks very familiar. Bruce is unsettled by her presence. His instincts tell him that she's in trouble.
Guards, grab that stupid lady and kill her!
No.
And without further ado,
continues the curator,
grab that stupid lady and kill her! I present to you the Scroll of Anubis.
All right, Brokettes, here we have it. We've got our fork in the road. You need to let us know. You need to guide Batman. Brokettes choose Batman's Ra's al Ghul adventure.
What are our options? Option 1.
Option 1. So that's what we'll call it. Option 1 and Option 2.
Okay.
So if you're going to tweet us, let us know what you think Bruce should do. Option 1 says, if Bruce follows the mystery woman, that will be Option 1.
Option 2, and the correct option, if Bruce stays and watches the ceremony and doesn't follow that dumb woman.
So that's Option 2.
So we'll do hashtag follow that bitch. Hashtag leave her alone.
Ignore that bitch.
Hashtag marry Catwoman.
No, for sure. Let us know, Brokettes. Option 1 or Option 2. Once again, follow this mystery woman or continue and watch the ceremony with Dick and Barbara and the rest of everyone else.
Catwoman's there.
And Selena.
Hi, Denny.
We'll continue next week and let you know what you chose. Either certain doom, certain success, or romance for Bruce. We'll find out next week.
Romance with Catwoman. I already told you that's what's happening.
We're going to top this podcast off, Brokettes, and actually let us know what you think of the Batman Choose adventure. Let us know on Twitter, and you can let us know about the options at Reasons I'm Broke or at Palpa Kelly, Facebook.com/The Reasons I'm Broke. So we've got our review this week, and that is The Flash #6. This is written by Joshua Williamson, with art by Carmine Di Giandomenico, and colors by Ivan Placencia.
So this book, pun intended, just picked up some speed.
See, I've been enjoying all the issues so far. I've really been liking them. I know you said it's a little bit wordy. Godspeed character that we've gotten, and the one that we've been saying, like, okay, what's happening? When are we going to get to see this Godspeed character actually take shape and form? What they're about, what their motivations are? And now we know. And this is kind of a big reveal, because who we thought from the beginning was going to be Godspeed, I mean, that got flipped on its head, and then this issue tells us that maybe that's not the case, or maybe it is. But we do find out what the motivation of this new Flash villain Godspeed is, why he's going around killing all the other speedsters, and what this means for Barry Allen.
It was a great twist. I'm really glad they threw it in there, because they started us off with, yep, definitely this person. No, it's this person, definitely. And then they weave the story, and you're like, well, it can't possibly be him, so who is it now? And now we're right back to where we were before. And I'm like, oh, shit, I just started to like them, and now you're doing this to me? Like, fuck is going on, Flash?
If you paid attention, you know what the motivation is. And in case you didn't, they tell you right there, when they reveal the villain, remember what happened here? Well, this is why Godspeed is doing this. It's awesome. I think it's a very cool villain for the Flash universe. I don't know how they're going to end up settling his defeat, but I do hope they end it in a way in which they can use him again. Can they? I don't know. It's a character that is being set up as one who thinks they can do a better job than the Flash. And that kind of villain is always interesting. The one that thinks they're doing good by a heavier means or a stronger means.
Well, and they also make him, again, like I said, somebody that we care about, somebody that we could care for. And that's going to make it really hard. I mean, ultimately, and he needs to be stopped, and the means that this is going to have to happen. I mean, it's one of two things. He either dies or he gets his powers taken away and spends his life in jail. And then going back to what this person means to Barry is another hard one to deal with. And so it's going to be heartbreaking. You want to see him defeated because you want to see the Flash succeed. But at the end of this, at the same time, at the end of it all, you don't want the repercussions to come about, because you know it's not going to be good.
So there you go, Brokettes. If you want a solid DC title, The Flash is definitely one that you should be subscribed to. I would say it's probably in our top 5 of the DC Rebirth titles so far. It's very good. And The Flash number 6, as you said, is where the stakes are high. We know why things are about to get heavy for Barry. And moving forward, hopefully a good, strong villain for the DC universe.
And guys, it is actually going to do it for our podcast this week. We covered a lot of DC news. We started a great story where Bruce is falling in love with Selina and not this mysterious woman with brown hair over her face.
She sounds pretty awesome.
She sounds really weird. Why would she cover her face?
Maybe follow her.
That's
and
pretty
find
shady.
out why
I don't think he should follow her. I think he should watch the ceremony with Selina and then slip out the back door with her later.
Brokettes would choose the correct answer.
Yeah, the one where he stays and watches the ceremony. Does my vote count in that?
No, we can't vote in our own thing.
Why
It's
not?
all listeners.
Why
All
not?
listeners. They heard the story. They're unbiased.
Let me ask you this important question. Do you like dinner being cooked for you every night?
I do like dinner.
Okay.
But that has nothing to do
why
with
does
the
my vote
Brokettes.
not count?
Because you don't listen to the show.
You're
not a listener.
Do you like your laundry being done? I listen as I record. I pay attention to you. I don't just sit over here and then just chime in and magically know what to say.
You should have said, I listen to the show when you're editing from the other room.
In my sleep, I hear it subconsciously through my dreams.
Don't forget, Brokettes, head on over to thereasonsimbroke.com, where you will find a link to all of our social media accounts. So if you want to let us know on Twitter or on Facebook, you can very easily find the link at thereasonsimbroke.com. And just doing the show, interacting with all of you and hearing your thoughts is awesome and great. Don't forget, for our Patreon backers, we did send out a poll about our recent guest interviews. So if you haven't gotten in there and given us feedback, we would really appreciate it. It's all in an effort to continue to improve the show as we move forward. It's a never-ending process. So thank you for the feedback so far, and we welcome even more.
So that will do it for our show this week, of course. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm Kelli.
And I'm Daniel.
We'll see you next week.